I'm Dr. Gail Dubinsky, orthopedic medicine physician and certified Kundalini Yoga instructor. Today's Kundalini Kriya strand is called Adjustment of the Blood. I love this Kriya. It is so interesting to me. It only has 5 exercises, and one is really just a relaxation, intermission kind of thing. The others are done from anywhere from 2.5 minutes to about 4 minutes. And it ends with a very lovely meditation, which is the last exercise, which we've already visited in one of our previous long ago clips called Breathing Techniques to Reduce Anxiety. So what we do is a combination of different exercises that seem to have no relationship to each other, but this is the beauty and the mystery of Kundalini Yoga sequencing. That it seems illogical to our conscious mind or our literary mind, but there is a magic and a mystery to the combination. So I invite you to experience that with me. But first, as I have mentioned in my Kundalini Basics clip, which I would encourage you to review, we are going to tune in briefly. The mantra is Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. I bow to the infinite creative consciousness. I bow to the divine teacher within. So let's go ahead and rub our hands together. Take a breath in. Release the breath out. And just one recitation. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Okay, the Kriya begins right out the gate with a wide leg forward bend. So if you're feeling very stiff, you might want to do something to stretch out the backs of your legs before we start. Otherwise, we're going to be bending forward, folding from the hips. So make sure you're not rounding your back like this. The idea is not to get the head to the floor. You're just folding at the hips, one long line. Think of projecting your chest outwards. The legs stay upright, so you're not rolling your feet in or rolling your legs out. So let's begin. Exhale forward, inhale up. And as you continue, because we're going to be doing this for 2.5 minutes, as we continue, you will loosen up, as will I. But at this moment, we're just exhaling forward, inhaling up. You can keep your hand, it's better to keep your hands in one place on your legs as opposed to sliding up and down. Eventually, if you wanted to grab your toes, if that was available to you, you can do that. That is actually the classic technique of the Kriya. Otherwise, if you need a little more stability, protection for your back or legs, just keep your hands, and that also helps brace the legs in the proper position so you're not rolling in or out. Exhaling forward, inhaling up. So the movement is rhythmic, it's precise. You're not bouncing, you're moving with control. This is what's called a dynamic stretch, as opposed to a stretch where you just went forward and stayed. Remember to keep the front body very long, chin slightly tucked, chest really projecting outwards. As you warm up, you can take your legs a little wider. It's not necessary to straighten completely up to vertical. I mean, if your arms are way out on your legs, or you're holding your toes, that's probably not going to happen anyway. Even, steady breath out and in through the nose. Keep the feet fairly active. Inhale up and exhale forward, and you can take your hands forward and just relax in this position, head down, eyes relaxed. Lengthening out, letting your head come down now as far as it wants to go, but keep the body long. All right, inhale, coming on up, and then come lying on your back. The next exercise is called earthquake, and this is something I forgot to mention in the beginning, that almost everything we do in this Kriya has been in another tape before. It's either in a separate yoga pearl or a core pearl, or as I mentioned before, the breathing for reducing anxiety and stress way back when, one of my first videos. So we're gonna lie down and do earthquake now, and it's very important that the heels are together and the feet are exactly in the midline of the body. Don't let the feet kind of deviate to one side. So we're gonna come down on our backs, and what we are going to be doing is lifting the buttocks up and dropping them down. So it's an inhale up and an exhale down. So the breath is kind of comes out as you come down. So it looks like this. So you can sustain a rhythm that works for you. You can start a little slower and then speed up. And what I love about this, as I've said before, is that it gives this little rhythmic tap, little percussion to the sacrum. It's very relaxing to the sacrum. If your sacroiliac joints tend to be tight or locked, it's a nice little gentle awakening. And it also invigorates all the nerve plexuses of the parasympathetic nervous system that are in the sacrum. So I like to think that it helps balance that part of our autonomic nervous system. Let the breath be rhythmic, and the movement just basically breathes for you. Inhale up, exhale down. Through the nose. The beauty of doing an exercise for a little bit longer than we would normally want to is that it really calls into play our reserves of resilience and helps strengthen our so-called keep-up spirit, where we can endure, where we have endurance and stamina. To go a little bit longer than we would want to. Really strengthening our inner selves, our inner core. So relax those buttocks when you come down. So it's a relax, contract. Everything else is pretty relaxed. You're just moving from here to here. Okay, take a nice deep breath in. Bring your knees into your chest. And now we're going to begin just gently rolling. This is the intermission I spoke of. Just bring your knees into your chest and just roll on relax the low back muscles that have been working a little bit from side to side. You can brace one elbow on the floor and then just catch your knees into it. Into the hand, I mean. Let your breath return to normal. Going a little bit further each time. Or not. You can just stay at a comfortable twist for you. Keeping the opposite shoulder on the ground. All right, come to center and then just give your knees a little squeeze into your chest. Breath in, breath out, and then go ahead and come to sit. And now, frog pose. Frog pose is a invigorating position that we can modify. Now in the Yoga Pearl frog pose, I show how to use a chair. So if you are not comfortable squatting down all the way, or if your hamstrings cannot abide being straightened almost completely or completely, then go ahead and use a chair. You would have the chair here, your hands would be on the chair, and you would just not go down as far, and you wouldn't have as big of a stretch. So that's accessible to all to strengthen. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to do a fair amount of them. So I'll just go ahead and I'll take a moderate pace and we'll stop in the middle for a little rest. So let's start with 26. So we're going to inhale up and exhale down. So as you come down, the chest comes forward, the head comes up. As you inhale, you try to straighten your legs. You try to bring your body as close to the legs as you can. Exhale down. Keeping your weight even on the balls of the big toes and the balls of the little toes. 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll start a little slower. 8. Take care of your knees. Squat only as far as is comfortable for you. Make sure that the knees are over the center toes. Do not let them fall forward over the big toes. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, we're going to take a little break. Take your feet so they're parallel. Go ahead and just hang forward. If your knees aren't all the way straight, it's okay. You can bend. You can just relax like so. Hands on the ground, hands on your ankles, hands on your shins, hands here. Anyway, that's relaxing for you. If you're really done for, just go ahead and take a break in Shavasana briefly, or you can keep hanging in forward bend, or just continue slowly. Although I find that sometimes the speed of frog pose doesn't really matter. It's not that much easier to do it slowly once you're warmed up. So let's do another 26. All right. 1, 2. Knees over the center toes. 4, 5, 6. You can also go grab a chair if you want to do the rest of them modified. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay. Relax, hanging forward. And then when you're ready, come and sit. The final concluding part of this Kriya is third eye breath, third eye breathing. So you may or may not recall having seen this one. I showed it sitting in a chair in the last video that I demonstrated it. This is the one where you balance, palms together, thumbs into the third eye point. So if you put your thumbs right where the eyebrows, the innermost part of the eyebrows over the bridge of the nose, and you slide them up your forehead, they're just going to kind of sink into this little low spot. That is the so-called third eye, behind which is the pituitary gland, the seat of, first of all, it's the master gland for all the endocrine system, but it's also the seat of intuition, energetically and spiritually. So, 6th chakra in the energetic yoga system. So anyway, the dynamic balance between the fingers pushing your head this way and the head lowering into your thumbs is going to create this suspension of perfect balance. Now, this is not a shoulder stretch, which one of my students thought, this is the greatest stretch for my shoulders. I'm like, it's not really what it's about. It's really about finding that perfect balance between relaxation of the shoulders and arms and that dynamic opposition of forces, down, forward and back. So your chest is lifted, your shoulders are down, elbows are projecting outwards, but you're not moving your whole shoulders forward. Your shoulders are back, elbows are projecting out, a little lower than the shoulders. I have really long arms, so that may not be true for everyone, and then your head is slightly forward, and you just close your eyes and breathe. We'll do this for 3 minutes. If you cannot stay relaxed in terms of the whole energy of the shoulders and figuring out how to balance the weight, you can put your elbows on a chair. You can sit on a chair and put your elbows on a table or on a desk. There's lots of ways to do this. In fact, if you're sitting at work or you're at your desk, you just want to take a little break, it's perfect. This is a perfect meditation to do on its own, but it closes this Kriya. So what we're going to do is do it for 3 minutes, and all we need to do is just close our eyes and breathe slowly and mindfully. So let's begin. Just every now and then, make sure you kind of correct your posture. The tendency is to kind of start to slump forward. So try to bring yourself back. Just feel the gentle pressure against your third eye. Breath just needs to be long and slow, and try to exhale completely. Don't make an effort to breathe deeply. Just completely. Time your breath will slow. Anything under 8 breaths a minute is balancing the parasympathetic nervous system. Relax and renew, rest and digest. Part of the nervous system. That's easily achievable. Slow and smooth, and emphasize the completeness of the exhalation. There's no suspension or holding between the 2 minutes of breath in this meditation. Take a deeper breath in and sit up straight if you've come forward a little bit, which you probably have. Release the mudra. Take a moment, take your time to open your eyes. Notice how you feel. If you enjoyed this video and that practice helps reduce pain and stress and enhance your well-being, please check out my other short videos on this channel and my full-length videos at rxyoga.com. I welcome your comments, likes, feedback, and suggestions for new videos. And don't forget to subscribe. Namaste.